In this video, let us see the top 10 myths about the Middle Ages. Number 10, death penalty myth. The death penalty was common in the Middle Ages. Despite what many people believe, the Middle Ages gave birth to the jury system and trials were, in fact, very fair. The death penalty was considered to be extremely severe and was used only in the worst cases of crimes like murder, treason, and arson. Number 9. Locked Bibles. Myth. Bibles were locked away to keep the people from seeing the true word. This is a myth. During the Middle Ages, until Gutenberg came along, all books had to be written by hand. This was a painstaking task which took many months, particularly with a book as large as the Bible. The job of hand painting books was left to monks tucked away in monasteries. These books were incredibly valuable and they were needed in every church as the Bible as was read or aloud at mass every day. Number 8. Number 8 in the list of myths about the Middle Ages. Starving poor. Myth. No, the poor were kept in a state of near starvation. Starving poor. This is completely false. Peasants, those who worked in manual work, peasants would have had fresh porridge and bread daily with beer to drink. In addition, each day would have an assortment of dried or cured meats, cheeses, and fruits and vegetables from their area. Poultry, chicken, ducks, pigeons, and geese were not uncommon on the peasants' dinner tables. Number 7. Thatched roofs. Myth. Peasants had thatched roofs with animals living in them. First of all, the thatched roofs of medieval dwellings were woven into a tight mat. They were not just bundles of straw and sticks thrown on top of the house. Animals would not easily have been able to get inside the roof. And considering how concerned the average middle ager was, if an animal did get inside, they would be promptly removed, just as we removed birds or other smaller creatures that enter our homes today. Number 6. Smelly people. Myth. People didn't bath in the Middle Ages, therefore they smelled bad. Not only this is a total myth, it is so widely believed that it has given a rise to a whole other series of myths, such as the false belief that church incense was designed to hide the stink of so many people in the one place. In fact, the incense was part of the church's ritual due to its history coming from the Jewish religion, which also used incense in its sacrifices. Number 5. Peasant life. Myth number 5. Peasant lived in a life of drudgery and backbreaking work. In fact, while peasants in the Middle Ages did work hard, tilling the fields was the only way to ensure you could eat. They had regular festivals, religions, and secular, which involved dancing, drinking, games, and tournaments. The myth number 4. Violence everywhere. The Middle Ages were a time of great violence. This is a myth. While there was violence in the Middle Ages, just as there had always been. There were no equals to our modern Stalin, Hitler, and Mao. Most people lived in their lives without experiencing violence. Myth number three: oppressed women. Women were oppressed in the Middle Ages. This is another myth number three. In the 1960s and 70s, the idea that women were oppressed in the Middle Ages flourished. In fact, all we need to do is think of few significant women from the period to see that is not true at all. Saint Joan of Arc was a young woman who was given full control of the French army. Her downfall was political and would have occurred whether she were male or female. Myth number two: flat Earth. Myth: people in the Middle Ages believed that Earth was flat. This is another myth. Furthermore, people did not believe the Earth was the center of the universe. The famous monk Copernicus dealt a death blow to that idea without being punished well before Galileo was tried to hearsay for claiming that it proved the Bible was wrong. The last myth which happened in Middle Ages is which was there in Middle Ages is number one: crude and ignorant. People of the Middle Ages were crude and ignorant. This is another myth. Thanks largely to Hollywood movies, many people believe that the Middle Ages were full of religious superstition and ignorance. But in fact, leading historians deny that. There is another evidence of this sign of this. Science and philosophy blossomed at that time, partly due to the introduction of universities all over the Europe. So these are the top 10 myths about the Middle Ages.